All right, cyber traders, welcome on back here this Thursday afternoon, August 10th, shortly after 2:30 p.m. Eastern. Let's get a quick sound check just so I know everyone can hear me loud and clear inside our live trading room. And great to have all of us back at the same time on social media, Facebook Live, LinkedIn, Twitter, YouTube, etc. You got John here with me. You got Brent just before, Richard, Elizabeth, had Michael just before, saw him lingering around, and perhaps a few more of us rejoining us here. So whether you're inside our live trading room or on our social feeds here, it's been actually a really great afternoon so far. A couple of great shorts that we've been following. Mara and Plug, namely. I have Mara on the screen here. I'll probably move away from it really fast so I don't jinx myself on this. No, I'm teasing myself with saying that. But, hey, yesterday I was screaming for a short on Mara. And in the afternoon, I got it, but it wasn't what I wanted. It wasn't that big move shortly after, like we always say here, right? Well, I think it's pretty easy to say, but once this broke below the lower of my two blue lines, you see there, that actually being the closing bell print back from Tuesday's trading, 1572. Right there. Bam. Led to a huge short drop. I mean, from 1572, easily $1 down, and perhaps a lot more to go on this trade, even. Just a moment ago, it did bounce back up off its lows. I think a new iceberg suddenly popped up on the bid to create a little support, but I think that there's still a lot of weakness on this trade heading into this time of the day. It's much closer to the lows right now than it is the highs. So, as far as like a tradable stock heading into the afternoon as a short, Mara definitely not a bad stock to start with. MARA. Now, Plug, I think, could be a little slower now at this point. Plug, not my favorite stock, at least. It's extremely tradable. It's actually very low risk, but for some reason, right? You might sit back here and say, there's this one stock that always gets me. This one stock. I'll tell you, Plug, I've just never seemed to have walked away like a big winner on any time we've traded it off of news or earnings, whatever the case. And it's made a nice move. It's just I've never been on the right side of the coin on it really, or like a good trade. So even earlier, this stock, it was chipping me around off its opening bell print at 933, and it moved up. So I was happy to take like a 3-cent loss. Stacy says here in the chat board, one of our trial members saying, dude, Plug got me crying. I'll tell you what, thankfully, I'm not doing much else in my life outside of being here with you folks during the middle of the day. So outside of maybe stepping away to make a lunch or stepping out on my balcony for some fresh air, much like Mara, I was still watching Plug. And finally, I'm on the right side of the coin here on the short too. So Plug from the 933 opening bell print. It almost stopped me out here as it nipped up a little bit above it. I had my stop set just over this peak, and thankfully it held me in. Easy to say, but I took a couple losses to start the day off on this trade. Now at this point, I just feel like this will be not as worth it. I think that Mara is the better of the two shorts now. So hey, I'm going to remain in this position at least probably until the end of this meeting, if not longer, and we'll see if it keep going. But definitely Mara. I'll put Plug on the side list for right now. PLUG. Stock that's actually on the way up, going against the grain here. AAOI. What a phenomenal squeeze this has been this whole week. Just really like for a long while now, I've kind of on and off been saying, watch out. Eventually, this is going to make a short squeeze. More so just from looking at the long-term chart. Stock went from 110 down to sub 2, from last year. So, it's not a matter of if, it's a matter of when. You don't want to hold your breath on a swing trade waiting for that when, mind you. But, anytime you see it up big in pre-market on a given morning and it's showing good activity, that's where the gears start turning, and you think potential short squeeze. So it ended up running up back from beginning of July. It pulled back, but then, hey, again, heading into the beginning of August, a little bit of a gap up. It ran beautifully, and here we are now. So definitely AAOI, all vowels in that ticker, but we're going to put it on our watch list for right now and looking good on the way up to 15. All right, so the one I wanted to show in lieu of this, we're not going to trade this stock this afternoon. It's not doing anything. Tilray. Well, hey, speaking of short squeezes, we talked about this trade back from earlier this week. We did really well on it back on Tuesday, right? Well, it's because the stock took a huge hit over time. It's not a matter of if, it's a matter of when. And if it can make a fraction of the type of run that it made for us back in early 21, right? I'm just saying there's plenty of time left on this for it to continue. It's just that you don't want to get stuck holding this as a swing trade if it's not ready to make that next leg up. If the foot's taken off the gas pedal for this type of stock, as much as it pumped up, it's going to pull back. So speaking of AAOI, yeah, it's pumped up the last few days, this whole week. I wasn't really calling it out as a swing trade. It was really just a day trade call out, and you could have killed it on this stock either way. Eventually, this is going to pull back. It's going to have a nice pullback, retracement, drop hard. So even now more than before, you don't really want to hold this overnight. All right, so two really good stocks to start with, though. One on the way up, one on the way down. There's a lot of hubbub on WeWorks just overnight here. I saw a bunch of chatter on Twitter, on X as they call it now, the app. And I mean, hey, it's easy to say now. It's up 100+% pushing up. It's like a penny stock, essentially. It's one of those small cap, very inexpensive stocks. We'll just say, 12 cent this morning, ran all the way up towards 27, actually 30+ cents just a moment ago. I'm not as keen to follow a stock that's this far away from $1, from one. So nice little pump up from earlier. If you caught it at the right time, you're doing really well. I'm rooting you on, but for our traders here, we're looking for something else. And you could even say the same on this. This is up 90%, but this is on an ungodly spread right now. It's on a 20, 30, 5-cent spread at certain points. If you're trying to go to the casino, I have a couple of recommendations in Vegas for you. But, BSAQ here is not the type of stock that I'm looking to trade as well. So pass on both of those, actually. Probably pass on this too. I think this is a buyout, CPRI. That's too funny. Top 3% gainers, all for separate reasons completely, were just thrown out the window. I mean, really, rightfully so. Buyouts we don't trade, stocks on crazy spreads we're not trading. As we'll kind of nickname it, a penny stock we're not going to really trade. We'll keep it going. Edible, nice pop on Edible this morning. Really good push from 175 after the market had opened up, blasted above the highs there off of 2 essentially, 195, $2. And ran up pretty nice, but this one died off pretty quick, as you could see. So, if you're trusting the cyber clock here, unfortunately, this one snapped down pretty early on. If it's not going to play the game of higher lows, higher highs, meaning like right here, if it's not going to really continue to push on up here sooner than later, then the probability of this reversing increases. So definitely done on Edible here. I'll keep it going. PGen. MGNX. This stock, I think this is the one. Let me go back on the graph here on the chart long term. It's probably from like a couple of years ago at this point. Let's see how much time we got here. I got a little time to try and show. Let me just see if I can get this here for you. Might be a different stock. I hope it's not, but MGNX, I think that we traded this a little while back, didn't we? Yeah, there we go. I told you, I don't have much of a life outside this trading room, so it's easier for me to remember this crap. But back from May of 20, back during the pandemic, COVID times here, stock ran from $8.30 all the way up to $27. Continued over time for a little longer, but just looking at this one day, it's just I remember the ticker. It's like MGNX, something I remember about that. And yeah, if this can make a fraction of the type of run it made back then, that's a home run. It's on a nice chart, good direction here actually, but it's not really trading any good volume per minute. Order book pretty skimpy, so I'll write it down for the side list. I'll come back to it if we really need to, but let's see what else we got. ALRM. Pass just on the price, but nice chart. Probably say that a few more times over here this afternoon. LPSN, and ran up from earlier today. Lackluster on the volume side of things too. We already got this beauty here, AAOI. That's a great one. I love that trade here. Holly or Hilly, we'll call it. I don't know, whatever it is, but we'll pass on it now. Definitely flat. Yell. Wow, let's go back to yesterday on Yell. What a crazy move this made after we finished up this meeting 24 hours ago. So it was actually right around 3:30 Eastern time. Got halted on the way up. So you'd figure there's a chance if it got halted up, all right, well, maybe it could run higher or at minimum hold support and then run higher. Well, it called out support. Had 250 called out, just over 250, in fact. Nailed the bottom there. Well, that wasn't the true bottom, right? Ended up making a lower high, and then once it broke under 250, this thing was like the Titanic. Ended up just completely sinking, dropped off, and you don't want to be stuck holding on to that type of trade. You got to take the break-even trade. I wrote it distinctly, like I remember it perfectly yesterday. It's like, all right, got a free play now. Perfect. It pushed up like 5 or 6 cents. All right, let's see if it keeps going. If it doesn't, it's a free play because worst thing that happens is that you're getting stopped out like -1 or break even. Just move on to a different trade. But that's like the perfect little show and tell there as far as like why you don't want to get stuck hoping and holding. Same here. This stock CLSK was a great run from the morning session, though. Right off of 575, 580. That was a great support. Well timed, thankfully, for us, where we had called it out and it built up there, moved up higher. So at first, it kind of took us off guard with how much it popped as fast as it did, but there was still room on that trade. All right, so there's a lot more that's up percentage-wise. There's a lot that's down percentage-wise here. So we actually still need to go through this a little closely. Let's see if there's any other familiar names that are looking pretty good. I'll expand the scanner here, actually. This COM, while I kind of landed on it here, COMM, not terrible. Not terrible whatsoever, actually. Let's just kind of just cherry pick here, see if there's anything even better. But that one, COM, I wrote that down just now on my side list already. Crazy AMSC trade, possibly with this one. This one ended up running up so much over the last week and a half. I was surprised with how much it had dropped off. So is it possible it makes a second win type of move here? Perhaps. So it's at the highs. I like that part of it. I'll slip this on our main list again. The AMSC, the superconductor stock. Also on top of that, you got a big 21,000+ share order on the bid. So hey, that's good support. We'll take it. And it looks like they're laddering up here too, like right at 945. They're trying to inch that order up, it feels like. Go back to another crazy stock, VTGN, back from earlier this week on Monday. Stock went from like $2 or $3 up to, what was it, like 60? It was like a 2,000% gain or 3,000% gain, like legitimately. Pretty wild, but yeah, that type of stock now is doing nothing. Let's see what else we have here on the gainer side before we hop over. Really, I'll tell you, not much else that looks like a no-name familiar stock. Yeti's a little expensive, also dropping off, so I'll pass there. IFRX, familiar name. Wow, this thing's had a crazy daily chart here. Look at this. Look at this daily candle. Holy smokes, this thing has had a day. Ended up gapping down to begin. Obviously, it filled said gap, and just it's pretty interesting bar there. I mean, obviously, you're going to watch this, if anything, tomorrow based off this daily candle. Now, today, it's at the highs. The order book, I wish it was a little bit more filled in. But the fact that it's showing good trend now at this time, the last like 30 or so minutes or even hour or so from this past point. All right, I'm kind of sold here. IFRX. I like the funky daily candle there. We'll see if it ends up pushing higher. Chuck calling out AAOI pop. Don't need to build out too big of a list when we already got one runner right now. Still going. I always say that. All right, so let's hop over to the loser side here next. Let's see if there's anything looking perhaps as good. But, again, I like what we got. I mean, we're at 4 right now. All right, so not WW, but WWW. World Wide Web. Wolverine Worldwide. All right, so this stock, it was shortable. I don't know. I was just looking at the name, clicked on it there. So nice trend. I like the trend down. Gap down early this morning in pre-market. Then from there moved a little bit lower going into this afternoon. It just broke below 9, which you would assume to be a big level, but there is not really much volume filled below $9 so far. A little consolidation here and there, but this really could be the next leg on the way down here. WWW for right now is a short. Keep it going. EBIX, EBIX, $15 stock. I like a little bit further above from the ground floor, as I like to say. So dropped off just a moment ago. It looks like it's starting to make a lower high here and pulling back a little bit. I'll give it a look. EBIX, see if this continues down. Listen, we got Mara as a short. We got WWW as a short. We got Ebix as a short. We might have Plug. Plug is still definitely in play on our side list there. Said I'd go back to that. DNUT, it's at the lows, but not really trading as much volume per minute there. I'll pass on it. Task, definitely a lot more down percentage-wise, folks. Like number 50 is down like 13%. So we need to do a lot more searching, scanning, seeing if there's anything looking as good. I just said a moment ago, I don't want to build out too big of a watch list, but we could always check to see if there's room for one or two more. AFRM on the way down, good sideless stock, that's for certain. Upstart's not really moving as fast right now, carrying a firm or SoFi with it perhaps there, so we'll pass. One of my old friends here, X US Steel, not Twitter. Remember, this is not Twitter. This is US Steel. Has long been X. Now at that, it's down like 4+%. It's at the lows, so I like that part. Let's see if there's anything looking even better, something even more on the way down there, perhaps, or perhaps on the way up. I don't know. I'm just seeing, check from the gainer side here on Benzinga. UIHC, little pop just now, but not really trusting it too much. And VA. All right. So I don't think we're going to find much more on the way up. Just looking at what we got here from Benzinga, going back to our com trade, which was, on the way up there. I'm going to put this on our watch list. Definitely level 1 stock. So it's low risk. It's up big percentage wise. Hopefully more eyes catch on to this trade to where it becomes faster. Mara's already on our list. Just wanted to show it off one more time. Lower high indeed. Pulling right back down, folks. And the plug trade, I feel like, you know what, I'll add this too just because it's low risk. It is down big percentage-wise, so, there is room to see it drop more. I just feel like Mara is going to be easier. I feel like that WWW is a short actually is pretty damn good there too. And then, like I said, we got a bunch of others on the way up. AAOI, we got the AMSC trade, COM perhaps if that ends up popping better. All right, so hey, let me know if there's anything else looking good here, folks. Up, down, left, right, more than 5% just before we wrap up. I had a loud knock outside my apartment door this morning. I was on coaching all throughout my day, and I was on a call with one of our students. Guys, a loud-ass knock on my door. I have a 30-pound package outside my door right now. I have no idea what I just got. Unless if I bought something in my sleep on Amazon, I have no idea. So wish me luck on that. I hope it's not like a fake package, and then all of a sudden it just kind of like blows up sparklers in my face. So wish me well on that. But folks, last call. Let me know if there's anything else up, down, left, right, more than 5% you'd want me to just look at here before we wrap up. I type my email address here in the chat board just for all of us on social. Josh at c2trading.com is the handle. Any questions or trades you want to go over with us, definitely let me know. But otherwise, if you wanted to join John or Ryan, Stacy, Andre, Chuck, Donald, Steve, and all of us there right now, just scan the QR code. It's been up there just on the top left of the screen on the stream right there. We look forward to having you inside our live trading room, live workshops, live audio commentary as early as 12 minutes from right now, 11 minutes. At 3 p.m. Eastern time, Rich will be on the mic wrapping things up for all of our students here, and I'll be in the chat board up until 3:30. Hopefully a nice trade to work with, taking us going into the market close. All right, folks, best of luck trading to all, and we'll catch back with everyone here very shortly. Take care.